Hey, and welcome to the early version. I'm on the cell phone right now, and I guess I'll find out some new technology. I'll see if I'll be able to switch to the computer once it's finished doing the updates on it. So, but I had to get on here early. So here we are, and actually, now I'm in a situation where I really don't have a timer because I would have been using my cell phone to time myself to see. But I think, I'm pretty comfortable. Oh, it says it's restarting. So, hey, good to see that you guys are on. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know everything is fine. But, hey, twin, what's going on? Yeah, this is the shout out time. Hey, look, somebody be ready to tell me it's 12 o'clock. Okay, because my computer, it was restarting something, and then it finally just looks like it's loaded, and I'm going to see if I'm going to be able to switch over from the cell phone to the computer. So, yeah, technology, I love it. I love it. Well, welcome aboard. Hey, thanks for the thumbs up there. Was that from my twin? And see, I got 3 other people on. Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. If this is your first time, I'm Sporty King, and I'll be doing your Glue Wednesday. Glue Wednesday. Hey, all right, homie. What's up, Kenny? You saw our Spurs do their thing last night. Oh, no, not last night. Night before last. I watched the Warriors last night. Yeah. Oh, y'all are all snowed in still in New York? Man, that's good news. Because I wanted to try to have it where you could see the sunshine in the background, but it would have blocked me out. So, but it's a nice sunny day in Charlotte. And so anyway, hey, look, is it 12 o'clock? Because I don't have access to a thing right now. So you know what? I'm feeling 12. I'm feeling 12. So let's get started. Welcome to Glue Wednesday. Now, a lot of times, I like to play. Words are powerful, so I like to play with words. And in fact, in my marketing stuff, I always say that I manipulate words for a living. See, manipulate does not necessarily, we tend to think of it as a negative thing. Oh, he's a manipulative person. But manipulate means that we make something work to our advantage. You'll even hear it used in a positive tone in like places like the Olympics or track and field. Where they say they're manipulating the course. That means people are getting it done. So making things happen. So I manipulate words for a living. And so the way people want to say that Wednesday is hump day, to me, hump gives the connotation that, yeah, we need to get over. But I say it's glue day. Hey, Linda. Hey, Virgo sis. Hey, Penny. I say it's glue day because glue, G-L-U-E, God's love undoes everything. Wednesday is not about getting over, but about getting it together. Because Wednesday is what brings the beginning of the week and the end of the week together. So whether you work a Monday to Friday shift, what's up, David? And whether you work a Monday to Friday shift is not important. According to the calendar, 7 days, this is the day that keeps it together. I think I got a great treat for you today. All right. Hey, Kamatha, you're always coming back in. So today we're going to be talking about legacy. Legacy. And I like to talk about legacy because, guess what? I know that one day I'm not going to be here. And so I think that we should all be conscious of our mortality. We tend to get more conscious of our mortality at funerals or when we hear about somebody's dying. I know my family, my home family, had dealt with a lot of it over the last month. We had a couple of, 3 people that I know of who we lost in our grant projects family. So, that's when people really start to get in touch with their mortality. But I say let's be in touch with our mortality year-round and recognize that even when you go to a funeral, as you listen to the eulogy and the things that people say, that's legacy. That's their legacy. And I remember one of my kids at the Boys and Girls Club, Romeo Turner. So just in case I get him on there, he got his shout out. But the thing is, when I met him, he was a young guy, teenager, and after I had left, as he grew, he was a member of the Boys and Girls Club, Dr. King Boys and Girls Club. He went and he stayed on and became a counselor. So he, paying it forward, good guy. And one of the assignments that he gave his kids was for them to all write a eulogy. about themselves. And the first one he said, I said, what? And then I said, man, that's kind of cool. Because what it's saying is, talk about how important you are right now. What do you want people to remember you for? All of us want some people to remember us for something, so put it on a conscious level. It really is okay. What's up, still little sis? Put it on a conscious level. You want to be remembered for something. People are going to say what they have to say about you at your funeral, but what are some things that you may want to say? There's really nothing wrong with talking about that. I know people say, well, I don't want to talk about death, and Sporty, you talk about death. I never talk about death. I talk about life, because I'm talking about life right now. I'm talking about what are you doing now? And in fact, my family knows I've got on my refrigerator, I've got a magnet, a list posted on a magnet of everybody who's invited to my funeral. Because, the funny thing is, people don't want to think about it, but if something happens to me, if I die, people don't know who my friends are necessarily. They wouldn't know who to contact. My family doesn't know all of my friends. So I've actually got not a spreadsheet, but a table, a Word document table of key names that if you contact, I'm going to be trying to get this online at the same time on a computer. If you contact this person, they'll contact this certain stream of friends of mine so that they can know, because I've got friends in different buckets, don't we all? You've got friends, hey Lenny, you've got friends who, school friends, and school friends breaks down to college, high school, elementary. You've got work friends, so we've got a lot of different friends in our lives that sometimes our family doesn't know. And I also made sure that the list is in alphabetical order according to first name. And especially if there's a nickname, because our family doesn't necessarily know our friends by their full name. So I've got my list of people who are invited to my funeral magnetized on a list on my refrigerator, and I have the poem that I want read at my funeral on there. They can say all the other stuff they want, but I got to get some say so. Yeah, somebody, oh, Sporty, you're such a control freak. Hey, you know what? You control what you can. If you allow stress, yeah, that is a true Virgo, right? You allow stress to take control of you. Why don't you take control of yourself? See, so you really have to think about what is going to be said about you. And you do have some say-so. So let's look at what legacy, I have legacy as an acronym in my book, Affirmations. And legacy, Legacy, leave everything. God already chose you. Leave everything. God already chose you. The thing is, God has said, yes, one day you are going to die. So don't try to take everything with you. Take some of that pressure off of yourself. Don't, do things. People say they have a bucket list. I call mine a live it list, because I don't like to make it sound like I'm going to kick the bucket. I'm going to live the life. So therefore, the things on my live it list, I want to try to make sure that I do those things. And as I do those things, I'm still, even the book of Proverbs said, you still will end up dying, whether you're good or bad. So since I'm still going to end up there, I'm okay with that. And I'm just going to try to do the things that are on my live it list so that when I go, I'm going to be fine. Now, the reason I seem like I'm not paying attention, because if I can get this on the computer screen, it'll look nicer to me. Okay, and yeah, our military brothers and sisters, I got a lot of, since I've been working on this yellow ribbon contract, I got a lot of new military family. And, oh, wow, I can see me on the thing. And so I'm going to see if I can, let me see if I can switch it over, because then the widescreen view that it'll give us will be cool. Okay. Anyway, let me just move on, So, and then legacy, leave everything. God already chose you. Then I also have legacy. Listen empathetically. Gifts arrive to create you. Listen empathetically. Gifts arrive to create you. So as you start to listen to what's going on in people's lives, your gift will arrive and help you. Oh, I might be able to do it. Your gift will arrive and help you move forward. And then learning to embrace God's ability to create yesterday. Learning to embrace God's ability. Hey, Ferg, learning to embrace God's ability to create yesterday. Because isn't that what God has done? He has created yesterday. I'm going to stay on here because I think that if I switch over, I might mess this thing up. All right? And legacy, again, my fourth, 1, 2, 3, this is my fifth definition of legacy. And that is life eclipsed by grace after challenging yesterday. That was 4. Number 5 is life empowered by grace after challenging yesterday, or life eclipsed by grace after challenging yesterday. And I want to move that into a poem that I wrote because, see, we challenged yesterday. Hey, Renee, we challenged yesterday by speaking again. You know, these damn kids of today are related to the damn kids of yesterday. Let's stop penalizing our kids and children and this next generation for the shortcuts that we've created. We've created these shortcuts for them through technology or making something easy, recipes, etc. We've created those things for them. And so that's all they know. They don't necessarily know the long cut. Well, you know what? When I was your age, I had to walk to school 10 miles uphill both ways. Right? You know, sometimes we try to give these lessons that really aren't true. So, you know, don't penalize kids for using the shortcuts that we've created. They didn't create Facebook. They didn't create text messaging. You know, adults created those things because we wanted a way to make it easier. And check this out. Your company wanted a way to make it easier so that they can make more money. And then even though we want to say, well, these companies are so capitalistic, they don't care about people. Guess what? If your company doesn't make money, they can't pay you. And then they go bankrupt and they close, and now you really have to go. Come on, everybody. Everything is a part of the deal. Remember, life is about going from one puzzle to the next. You're either a small, medium, or large piece of the puzzle. But no matter how you see yourself, small, medium, or large, without you, the puzzle is incomplete. So I'm always going to be talking to you about keeping that puzzle together and getting it together. So here's the first poem I want to read to you about legacy. And this is the one where I say we challenged yesterday by speaking against our kids. And it's called Denying Our Seeds. Denying our seeds. These kids of today won't make it. Denying your seed. Denying our seed. These kids of today have no respect. Denying your seed. They have no regard for life. Denying his seed. These kids of today have no manners. Denying her seed. They don't know how good they've got it. Denying our seed. You see, I've lied, taken chances, tried to be an adult when I thought I was supposed to be more responsible based on what I was told I should know by now. Recognizing your seed. I tried to get into a club underage, played hooky, house, doctor, and nurse. Had to have messages repeated until I got it, and I didn't get it until I heard it for the first time from my messenger. Recognizing her seed. And I played Spin the Bottle and RCK, also known as RCF, with the right group. Hide and go field, cops and robbers, cowboys and cowboys, never wanting to be the Indians. And oh my God, I've been overheard using foul language, recognizing our seed. I'm a descendant of a culture that was connected to some sort of enslavement, Holocaust, ignorance, revolution, prejudice, violence, pornography, substance and spousal abuse, discrimination, molestation, and my age group was also the first to experience peer pressure. What a lie that is. I remember being rewarded for being stubborn, justifying my character development. Okay, I don't really remember that. But I remember having my normal actions questioned. And I remember wondering how I was ever going to make it when no one understood me. Remember those teenage years? What could I do to prove myself? Did people like me? What was the latest style or fad? Was it for me? Irrelevant. Recognizing his seed. I remember no growing in intensity. Stop. Wait. Listen. My name. My full name. I've managed to forget how I wondered what would happen if, when, after I tried to do certain things, my mother would react. My father, grandparent, brother, sister, friend, boyfriend, girlfriend, peers, teacher, boss, even how my children would react. I've managed to forget risque, seductive, suggestive words and songs. And wanting to get it on or get down tonight by sexing somebody, anybody, everybody up, expecting no romance without finance. Since bad and nasty girls weren't worried about doing it to death all night long with somebody else's guy, who wasn't wondering who was making love to his old lady while he was out making love. Because as thin as the line was between love and hate, it was clear that Papa was a rolling stone who didn't take no mess. And like Parliament, you could bet your bottom dollar that he would funk you up whenever he felt that funky sensation. And it didn't matter if you knew how to shake your money maker or your booty until your love came down from your riding the white horse in hot pants or high heel sneakers, if you didn't realize that it takes a fool to learn to love the one you're with and do it till you're satisfied. Have you forgotten how we would tear the roof off the sucker or chase the cat like the dog in me, looking for some sexual healing? Oh yes, I believe that if you would let me make love to you, that I wouldn't stop till you asked me to, told me to, begged me to, get funky with me, Mr. Big Stuff at Lady Marmalade's house. Voulez-vous? How do you like your love? And I only ask because I want to be sure you know you can't hit and run. Now that you know I love to love you, baby. So stay in my corner. Let me rub you down with some burning hot oil and take you higher. Come on, sexy mama. You got to give it up before I let go. Yes, I remember changing some of those lyrics and laughing that they'd never used those words. Do you? See, I've even managed to forget John 8:7. Let he who is without sin. I'm throwing stones like they're going out of style. Yet maybe you never had the urge to, never flirted, talked dirty, fantasized, fondled, or faked. Peer pressure has gone away since you've managed to keep up with the Joneses, while in your political correctness, you still read the cue cards that say you can be anything you want to be. Waking up and making it through another day free from your addiction, yet not free from the flashback these kids of today give you. And as the stop sign now looks red to you, you lash out where you could reach out to offer guidance. You give up where you could give hope through your patience. You retreat where you could repeat the lessons, applications, and realities. I'm going to try to remember not to deny my seed when I can recognize it. These kids of today will make it because, and sometimes in spite of the fact, that they are related to us kids who weren't supposed to make it. Then maybe they'll wonder how those kids of tomorrow will make it. You see, there's no stopping us now. And so that's what I'm saying. As you can see, it's so important that we recognize that all the things we used to want and want to be and how we used to mess with the words and music, now they're using some of those lyrics in the songs. And then we say, oh my God, I can't believe they're saying that. You know, whenever you hear somebody say to a child, where did you get that thought? You better look in the mirror, because children mock and mirror adults. And the thoughts, the words, the actions that they mock and mirror, if they're getting them from you, then you should. I just got a call. I don't know if it blanked out on the screen on you, but I got a call from somebody named Unknown Caller. Was anybody expecting a call from Unknown? Not me. Anyway, so that's one way of looking at your legacy. Recognize that what we see our kids do, we have to support our kids. Hey, Nina, we need to support. What's up, Rich? And what's up, Dexter? Okay, homie. We need to support our kids and tell them that they're going to make it. You know, and sure, as parents, you may get upset. Hey, Julie, you may get upset. I know, so that's a happy Mother's Day, happy Father's Day. I know it doesn't end. But come on, make sure that you're also telling them how much you believe in them. Not just constantly drumming on them how they're messing up or your expectations when they have expectations of their own. And they're not the same as you. When I was younger, we used to do this. Okay, good. You're not that age anymore, and that option is no longer available. So as you work on your legacy, recognize that your legacy is also part of your present. So what are you doing now? Now that you've grown beyond that certain age, now start to be who you are. and recognize and have the patience and faith in our kids that maybe they're going to make some mistakes, and guarantee that they are, and that they're still going to come all right, because haven't we come out all right in our own definition? It's tough. It's tough. By the way, P.S., by the way, easy to say, hard to do. I don't deny that it's hard to do, but I say that we need to try to make that move consciously, make a conscious effort to do it. So 2 more definitions of legacy. Legacy, live, enjoy, give, accept, change, you. See, all of those are part of legacy. You have to live, you have to enjoy this life, you have to give of yourself, and you have to accept that what you are giving, and accept that you have a gift. And then change. Change is important. We have to deal with change all the time. And legacy is about you. It's about what your gift is and what you're going to give. And so the last meaning of legacy is learning to expand God's acclaim to choose you. Learning to expand God's acclaim to choose you. In other words, if in our spiritual growth, if we've chosen, we like to say, well, I'm a child of God. I'm made in the image of God. If you're saying that was a choice that he made of you, and whatever's going on in your life is part of the deal. So, try to make sure that you understand part of the deal. The apples don't fall far from the tree. I hear you, Vanessa. Okay, so here's a poem that I want to read that talks about how important it is for us to accept the fact that we have been chosen in the image of God. This poem is called In Fact, I Do Know. And these last 2 poems I wrote come from my book. There's a poet in every prophet. If you see, poet is in all small letters, but prophet is all capitalized. Well, not all capitalized. The letters in prophecy, prophet, the P-O-E-T. So there's a poet in every prophet. Get it? Okay. But this poem is about the fact that a lot of times after I've spoken or somewhere, someone says to me, oh man, you don't know the difference you made in my life. You don't know how you touched me. And I said to them, yes, I do. Yeah, I do know. Because, see, I used to say, well, no, I used to be humble and say, oh, well, no, I don't. But then I thought about it. I said, wait a minute. If I know that I'm God's messenger and I'm serving God, yes, I do know that I've touched you. I do know the impact. See, how much more of a gift will you be when you understand what your gift is and you know that what your impact is? I don't always know who I'm going to touch, but I know that I'm going to touch. And the way I look at it, God said, he said, throw the seeds. He didn't say aim them. So when I'm speaking to an audience, I know that I'm not going to reach and touch everyone there, but I know that I'm going to reach and touch someone. And even if you go to church, when there's the time for the altar call, what do they say? Will one come? Will someone come? Is that going to be you? And then, and that's, again, constantly just go for your one person every time you speak and share your gift, whether it's at a sermon, in class, anywhere, okay? So this is called, In Fact, I Do Know. You see, you think that because you can touch me. In fact, wait, let me say this before I even go through it. One of the reasons that I wrote this poem is because I think that sometimes when people say, oh man, you don't know how you touched me. I think sometimes that's us. So I want you to listen for that. I think that's sometimes us deciding that we are not worthy of being touched. The person who we say it to, whether it's a pastor, an athlete, a movie star, a parent, anybody, we are saying that we are not on that level. That's another, it's not necessarily true, but we're saying that, wow, I'm not worthy of being touched by you, wow, I can speak to you. Like, that's why I'm not big on getting autographs from celebrities, because you know what? That's just their gift. And I've gotten some autographs, sure, in my younger days, but they're, sometimes I don't bother. I just really want to deal with them as a person, and I think a lot of them appreciate that. So this is called, In Fact, I Do Know. You see, you think that because you can touch me, I don't know how I affect and impact the lives of those I touch. Yet you tell me that I touch you. Therefore, someone less powerful than my God has made an impression on your life and painted the picture of how the impactful should impact, which impacts how they impact who they impact. And in that cycle, no one gets credit for knowing how they impact, thus impacting no one. So it's you who doesn't know how you affect or impact the lives of those you touch. Yet it's you who has an influence on mine because you can touch me. And so, again, when people say, well, you don't need to be arrogant, you need to be humble. I am humble. I do have humility to God. And I appreciate when someone tells me that I've touched them and I've made a difference in their life, because I know that that's part of my mission that God has sent me to do. And I'm glad to know that I'm doing what I was sent to do. And I'm glad to meet the person that I was sent to touch, because that touches me. And that empowers me. And a lot of times when people say, well, you're just arrogant. I think arrogance is perception. Arrogance is perception, and it's usually claimed by insecure people. See, when someone decides that you're arrogant, it's just that they can't accept the fact that you feel good about you. Especially our young kids don't know this, but, they came into the world hearing Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali is the greatest. But those of us who go way back remember him as Cassius Clay. And we remember that when he switched from being Cassius Clay to being Muhammad Ali, he didn't switch his personality. He had always said, I'm the greatest. And there were plenty of people who did not like him for saying that. He would say what round he was going to knock somebody out. He made a poem out of it, and people did not like that. So they didn't like it. He's so arrogant. But guess what? As time went by, people start to recognize that this was not necessarily him being an arrogant, standoffish person. This was his personality, and this was his faith and his belief in the gift that he had been given, and he was using his gift to the highest level. And isn't that what we all should be doing? Shouldn't we all be the greatest? In fact, when I started my speaking business 23 years ago, I remember saying, I want to be the Muhammad Ali of motivational speaking. Guess what I found out? I found out that Muhammad Ali was the sporty king of boxing. And that's the thing. You have to see that there's no one greater at being you than you. And anyone who wants you to squash that gift down, well, you've got to let them go. Oh, you're so arrogant. Oops. You're arrogant. Well, you need the arrogant out of my face. Now, that thing says storage full, so I hope this thing doesn't cut off and before I get to end, because we only got 6 minutes. So get Fresh is on. So I want to use this last poem before I go, and that is called Sometimes I Wish I Were Lucky, because, you see, I don't believe in luck. I believe that we're good. And somebody said, well, Sporty, you're just self-centered and conceited. I said, no, I'm self-confident and convinced. See, I'm convinced at how good I am, and I know how good I am. Again, how much more of an asset will you be to people when you know how good you are? So this is called Sometimes I Wish I Were Lucky, because I want us to all proclaim how good we are. You're never going to be lucky to be in a relationship. You're good enough to be loved. You're not lucky to have a job. You're good enough to be gainfully employed. You've never been lucky to pass the test. You've always been good enough to get an education. You've never been lucky to make the team. You've always been good enough to be in the game. You're not even lucky to be alive. You're good enough to enjoy this gift of life. And in fact, you're not even lucky that you found God. You're good enough to know that God has never lost track of you. So this is Sometimes I Wish I Were Lucky. Because you see, sometimes I wish I were lucky instead of just so good. If I could just be lucky, I might share my luck. No, in fact, I know I would. Now, some people say that I'm lucky. I correct them and remind them that I'm blessed. I'm spiritual, fortunate, in tune with myself. Nothing outweighs my thirst for happiness. You see, luck itself doesn't last. It provides a glimmer of hope or chance. Luck forces you to take risks. Being blessed allows you to take a stand. Luck can give you that on top of the world feeling, that instant fix of elation. Being fortunate keeps you on top of the world and allows you to enjoy the sensation. Spirituality is such a popular thing now, but it means much more than meets the eye. If you get lucky enough to get spiritual, hold on, don't let that spirit die. If you get lucky enough to find yourself, enjoy the challenge of introspection, realize its value toward your growth. Understand that you're supposed to have success. Your purpose is ordained. You must choose to lead a prosperous life. You must make sunshine out of rain, but I must admit, sometimes I wish I were lucky instead of just so good. But would I stand out from the rest? If you're lucky, you can be in good company. If you're blessed, you could be with the best. You're the best, listeners, Facebook friends, family. You're the best. And start to tell yourself that. And anybody who doesn't want you to be into who you are, you've got to let them go from who you are. Recognize that it's not about luck. Even when people say, well, good luck, I never say good luck. I say good fortune. Luck doesn't last. Now, I'm not expecting you to just change your vocabulary because I said it, but it's food for thought. Be conscious of the things that you say because they do make a difference. I'm glad that you came on to hear what I had to say today. Some new things. That last poem, by the way, is from my book, I Found Out I'm Dying. If you haven't had a chance to take advantage of my Take 5 sale, check that out on my website. It's also on my Facebook post where if you purchase 5 of my books, then the 6th one will come as a gift from me. It's all good stuff. And you'll be able to use it sometimes in our exchange here. Maybe we're going to get to that where we can pick a poem or pick something and make it the topic for the day. We got options, y'all. But we've got to be willing to be creative enough to have the option. That's what legacy is all about. You can also catch me on Sunday mornings at 12 and Tuesday mornings at 8 a.m. on the radio. XLDJS.com, XLDJS.com radio. It's internet radio. There's an app that you can get on your Android or your iPhone, but there's also, you can download it on your computer, and it's 24/7 music. And I do the inspirational message on Sunday mornings at 12 noon Eastern and 8 a.m. on Tuesdays. And so that's something new that we're trying. So thanks again for listening in. See if you can get that radio app. My sister and Lady D.J. Wells in New York this is their entrepreneurial venture, and I'm glad to be able to support them. I'll do some quick shout outs as I can. You see, I have to use glasses. These are not cosmetic. I can't see. Thank you, Renee. Always good listening and seeing you, and appreciate you coming. Thank you, Jeanette. Tell like it. When you said you need to hear it, I said, I don't know if it's not loud enough, Janet. Thank you. Hey, Angela. Oh, man. LOT. Good to see you again, too, sister. And David. See, it's not. Oh, there we go. David, always happy to have you back. My boy Kevin, way back. David, Dick Poirier. Hey, I think I did speak with your daughter. But again, thank you so much, and for your support over the years. Pat Harris, good to see you again. Richard Twin is over there. Okay, and what else? Hey, Patsy. Okay, and let me see if I'm trying to get all my shout outs. Julianne, see you next month. And I think I got everybody. Nina, my sister, I hope you're doing better. I need to check on you. Love you all. Thanks for coming on. Peace. And keep your glue together. Ciao. Oh, by the way, this will be uploaded to YouTube. So all of my glue. So please go to YouTube, subscribe to my station. That way you never have to worry about scrolling down Facebook. You can find all of my messages posted on YouTube. And that's also something I'm trying to do to grow my business. Thanks again. Hey, Jackie, I saw you just get in. Love you all. Ciao. And you can sit here watching me